guys, and welcome back to my channel. I wanted to talk about something today that might be a little bit dark or sad, but I think that it could inspire people to hear someone else's story. A lot of people are struggling with depression. A lot of people self-medicate with alcohol, with drugs, with food, and it's a very normal, common thing. There are a lot of people that eat their feelings, drink their feelings, and a lot of people self-medicate with food and alcohol and drugs to treat the deeper down issue. And that deeper down issue comes back later when you remove the alcohol and the drugs. I'm not a doctor, and if you suffer from depression, then I highly recommend that you go talk to a doctor and that you go talk to, a professional. I grew up in a household that I thought was normal, and my dad struggled with drugs and alcohol. Most of my life he was fine. Came on when I was about 13, 14, and it got pretty bad. And I won't go into details, but I am gonna say that I lost him to his drug addiction. Ultimately, that was what ended up taking his life indirectly. I have a lot of people in my family that suffer from depression and alcoholism and all of that. When I was about 14 or 15 years old, I didn't have a lot of parental guidance at the time. My dad assumed custody of me, and he was, at the time, doing drugs. And I just saw it I didn't realize how bad it was, and I just saw it as freedom for me to do whatever I wanted. So I got in with the friends, the crowd that drank and partied. And that was what I wanted my life to be. I wanted to hang out with the older cool kids, and I wanted to do what I wanted and hang out with the bad skater boys and smoke cigarettes and get drunk. So that started about the age of 14, and it seemed normal. It seemed like that's what kids did. And I was a pretty good kid. I stayed out of trouble for the most part. I was really good at getting away with stuff. So I finished high school. I did well, but I had a really bad home life. I was drinking and doing drugs. Started doing cocaine and speed at the age of 15 or 16. Luckily, I never got addicted to that, but it was something that I dabbled in well into my 20s. Alcohol, however, became a big part of my life. Every night it was, how are we gonna get drunk and where are we gonna go? Because we were in high school, so we'd have to go to different people's houses, and somehow we always managed to get the alcohol. I had a friend that would go steal it, or we would get people to buy it for us. And so into my 20s, I kept drinking. Once I was able to legally drink, I went and I drank almost every day. I didn't see the problem with it. I thought that it was normal. I had gained a lot of weight, and I lethargic, and I was depressed, but I was smiling through it. I was the party girl, I was having fun, and we went out to the bar all the time, and it seemed normal. It seemed normal for my 20s. Around that time, a friend of mine got sober. She got clean and sober, and I remember resenting her for doing that, because I thought, in order to be an alcoholic, you need to be somebody that is, has the shakes and can't live without it, and it's ruining your life. And even though I don't identify as an alcoholic, I have cut back considerably. It took time to get there. So well into my late 20s, I was drinking. I'd always hold a job, always be professional, always do really good, but I couldn't just drink 1 or 2 drinks. It usually would turn into 5 or 6 or 7. I did a lot of really stupid things. I put myself in danger. When I would drink late at night and go to the bar, I would also eat really bad food. And so it was this cycle. Every night I ate alcohol, and every night I ate bad food. So it really wasn't until I started taking fitness seriously that I cut that stuff out. And even before that, let's back up. I had met with a trainer, and she was amazing, except I just wasn't ready yet. And I remember talking to her about my diet and what I could do to lose weight and what I should do. And I remember her saying, you really want to cut alcohol out or have it very minimally. How much are you drinking? And at the time, I was drinking at least 2 to 5 drinks a night. And I couldn't hear her, and I was like, not gonna quit drinking, thanks a lot. Even though I wanted to, work out and lose weight, I didn't actually want to totally make the commitment to really put my health first. So today, I don't the longest I've gone is 60 days. I did 60 days. I did a 60-day challenge where I didn't have any alcohol, and I felt amazing, but I also knew during that time that I still wanted to drink, and it took me removing it and making health and fitness a priority, and also dealing with some of my inner demons and my own anxiety and dealing with my own depression to really get a handle on it, to realize that I still want to have a drink here and there socially, but instead of it turning into 4 or 5, I could have, 1 to 2 and I can be fine. That isn't for everyone. That's just my story. And the way I was able to do that was I had to commit to a program for 3 weeks. And I did the 21-day fix, and it was 3 weeks, and you're allowed to have 3 glasses of wine a week as part of that meal plan. But the thing is, it is 4 ounces of wine is 1 yellow swap out. Meaning I could have carbs, which were, rice, bread, all that stuff, or I could have a glass of wine as one of those options for the day, and it was only 4 ounces. And I remember thinking, if I only can get 4 ounces, then I'm just not gonna drink because I'd rather eat. So I was like, it's just 3 weeks. I'll just switch that happens where you're fine, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, like I have a couple drinks and I get really hungover. Well, if you start eating healthier, it's even more noticeable. I think the human body is an amazing, resilient thing. It can take a beating. If you give it nothing but processed foods and sugars and drugs and alcohol, it will keep you alive, and you will survive, and you will cope, and you will find a way to deal day to day, getting up for work or whatever have you, taking care of your kids, whatever you need to do. It will get you there. But later, it's gonna give you problems. You're gonna have health issues. Things are gonna come out later, I promise you. And I did not wanna be somebody that was in my 50s and 60s that was depressed, overweight, had heart disease, was diabetic. Like I wanted to avoid all those things. So I decided that I was gonna, try this 3 weeks. I cut out the alcohol. I felt so good after those first 3 weeks. I did have some drinks during that 3 weeks. There was like a little part in there where I cheated for a couple days, but it was still overall such a good experience that when I went into the next round, I was drinking less. And so here I am, 2.5 years into it, and I rarely drink anymore. I will maybe have a drink or two every couple weeks, and I just allow myself to be social and have a good time. Happiness that I get and the natural endorphins that I get from just working out and eating healthy foods has made me be in check with how I feel. And if you're in tune with how you feel, you can work through those emotions a lot easier than just masking them with food or drugs or alcohol. So, and for me, it wasn't just alcohol, it was food. It was all of it. It was all combined. I viewed it all as a way to treat myself, because if I had a bad day or I worked really hard taking care of my son or in the salon, I thought I deserved to have this drink or this pizza or whatever have you, I still allow myself to have treats here and there, but it's not this, I worked hard, I deserve this. Now it's, I worked hard, I deserve some good food. And I don't want to feel hungover tomorrow, and I want to have a good workout, and I want to have a good day. So I'm gonna not drink. So basically, that's just kind of my story. I could go way more into it. I just wanted to share a little bit about how I haven't always been this positive person that's really into health and fitness. This is a new thing for me, and I'm still on a journey, and I'm still figuring it out. And I really truly believe that a lot of people out there can change their lives and still have that balance, like have some wine, have some drinks, and eat the bad foods every once in a while, but 80-20, they say like 80% of the time you're eating healthy and treating your body right, and then the other 20% maybe you're having some wine or cutting loose or vodka or whatever your drink of choice is. Nowadays, I prefer, if I am gonna drink, I decide to do vodka soda with lime. A lot of times I will get a single vodka soda in a double glass. So then I get a pint glass, mainly soda water, which is 0 calories, just sparkling water, with 1 shot or 1 serving of vodka, and then I'll get lime and lemon. It'll take me longer to drink it. I will be more hydrated, and I look like I'm appearing like I'm social, because I've noticed that it can make other people feel uncomfortable if I'm like, oh, I'm not drinking, I'm not drinking. I just don't want to make a big deal about it, so I just don't say anything. And either I will order a plain vodka, or either I'll order a plain soda water with lime or lemon and just not say anything, or I will get the one vodka drink in there, and that will be like my one drink. I don't really drink beer anymore. If I do, it's gonna be like a light beer. Personally, I think that if you are someone that needs to drink, thinks that you deserve a drink every single day, that maybe it's time to look at what's happening in your life to make you feel like you need that. So if it's stress, like a stressful job or a stressful thing in your life, well, maybe it's time to change something about that, because if you're someone that can just have a glass of wine, more kudos to you, but usually that would turn in, for me, that would turn into 2 or 3 glasses of wine, and I just think nightly, that is like getting in the way of my fitness goals. So that's my advice, and that's just a little bit of what I've experienced. I went from binge drinking and eating and partying every night and doing stupid things. And in the beginning, when I was 14 and 15, thinking that it was this fun time that we were all having. And now, into my 30s, I realized it's not such a fun time. And unfortunately, a lot of those people that I was partying with back then are now really sad and sick and have struggled with like drug addictions. I've lost some friends to suicide. I've lost some friends to overdosing. And this is weighing really heavy on my heart as of right now, because in the last month or 2, I've lost 2 people that I know to depression and to drugs. And it's such an important topic that a lot of people don't talk about, and we all have it in our mind that like a drug addict or an alcoholic looks a certain way, and unfortunately there's no wrong or right way to do it. They're among us and they're hurting, and I just wanted to share like what has helped me and what has saved me from going down that path of where even if I was able to hold a job and be a good mom and still drink and binge eat, eventually it would have had detrimental effects on my health. So for me, it was really, really important that I really, really cut back. And exercise gives me endorphins, which make me happy and allow me to process these feelings that I have that are normal, of anxiety and depression, and not feeling like those feelings are way down, because alcohol increases those feelings. So now that I'm able to drink less, eat better, and exercise, my endorphins are always higher, and so I'm always just like a little above it. I'm not perfect. Not every day is like this magical day, but I'm able to see clearly that it's gonna pass, and I'm gonna feel better. And the things that I can do to be nice to myself and treat my body right are gonna just increase those good feelings. You know what I mean? So that's just what works for me. Well, that's just a little bit about my story, getting a little personal, sharing with you guys a little bit about who I am, and hopefully it will inspire and help you or someone that you know. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Bye.